Hey y'all, this is Allison hanging out in my space to craft, and it's time to document a family dinner. So, this is related to a page I did a couple of videos ago called Sister Love. I'm using the same background paper, but I wanted it to look a little different. It was on the same day, and this is all of the kids, brothers and sisters, at their first dinner together. So I've decided to, in order to make it look different, even though I'm using the same background page, I'm going to gut this floral print and use it as a border. And I decided that I wanted a good size 1/2 inch border. Since it's a floral, I wanted it to show up a little bit. So I'm just gutting that paper. If you haven't gutted it, you can gut a little thinner or a little deeper if you're nervous about it. But you just, it definitely helps if you have a blade that you can set down with inside the paper to cut these. And then I trimmed 1 inch off 2 sides of the base paper. So I am just going to ink everything, and this is with the same blue jeans or faded jeans ink that I used on the other page. These papers are all from My Mind's Eye. I think it's Gingham Garden is what it's called. So I had pulled a couple of 6x8 papers, and I'm going to make use of the full 6x8 papers. So here I tried cutting just a tiny frame, but that didn't work on the way it printed. It had printed over the perforation. So I've cut off all the white off this photo. And it looks good on there, but I still want some contrast of some sort for that photo. All right, so I decided, I'm just going to use what I have, sort of offset these squares or rectangles as layering mats. And I kind of like the look of that. Now, I do want to mat the photo with something, so I'm going to dig into my scraps and find something. And it doesn't take me long at all to find this sort of blue jean colored photo mat. And I think that will work out splendidly. So just matting that. It doesn't provide a ton of contrast with the photo, but I do like it, and it's pulling in that blue. So now I think it's time to start. I felt I needed something else. I wanted to bring in that floral pattern onto the main page again. And so I'm going to make a banner. I could have made it a little wider or a little thinner. This one I made at about, I think it was 1.5 inches. And I think that just helps finish off that look. It makes it look a little more complete. And I'm just making sure it goes off the edge of that back piece of paper. So I have all the embellishments with this page kit. I bought the whole kit and caboodle. So there are chipboard, I'm going to start with that since it's dimensional. Pull a few things out. That little arrow says together. I thought that was appropriate. So I'm just pulling out a variety of things. I think I also pull a bird off. And then I have the sticker sheets. So I think there's 6 different sticker sheets in here. So just looking for a few things. And I do pull a couple of things off and then not use them. I forgot they were up there where I stuck them. But I didn't need them in the end. So just looking through there, and then on the previous page I had used the gray wood grain letters that you see in the background, but I decided that the reason I used them is because these didn't have enough contrast on that dark blue paper. But since this is going to be on this mustard colored paper, I think it will work better. So I'm just lightly putting these down. They're going to move. I'm going to work on the spacing of all of that a little bit. And then I need to figure out where my clusters are going to be. And I was trying not to leave, space gaps in there. So I'm trying to put some flat things against the back and then the chipboard things at the top. And then I realized, okay, it's time to get this stuff down on and adhered to the paper. So I think this is the final resting place for this, but it's going to move again. So I know where I want things, and now it's just a matter of making it happen. So this is a really simple page design, and I think it's really flexible. You could do different colors, you could add more of those banners, you could cut one of the mats down and make it smaller. It's a really pretty flexible design. And you could make it any theme you wanted. So I'm pretty pleased with it. Especially if you have 6x6 or 6x8 paper pads that you're trying to use. This is a really easy way to get them on a page and it not look too formulaic. And then you can also turn this in any direction if you want to modify it. So here I'm not liking the size of that space between the title and that chipboard piece that I have. And I definitely want the chipboard piece on that lower corner because I want the bird there. And I can't have the bird going over on top of Jack. So then that leaves me with space for another embellishment cluster. So this is turning into a triangular design for the embellishments. Didn't start out that way, but that's how it's ending up. So I still have these hearts that I had cut for the previous page and then not needed on the layout. So I want to include them here as a tie-in to that other page, in addition to the paper selections. So I'm just going to go through some of the ephemera. So I'm trying out some of these little banner pieces. I kind of liked this gray one for some reason. And I'm not going to end up using that blue one there. It just doesn't, if it were another fishtail banner, maybe I would feel it would look better. I did pull out this floral to use as a base over here because I felt it was all a little disjointed. And then back to the sticker sheets, because I know there are some things that I liked over there. And I liked this little banner because I don't have any words there on the lower left corner of the photo, but I did have words in the other embellishments, I think. So just going to build this cluster up with a floral as well, so that there's a floral in both of those. And then a couple of chipboard pieces for some dimension. And then we're going to work on that top one. Moving some of the hearts around. And adding the chipboard. I'm not sure if that's all I put on there. So when I scrapbook, I do like to have probably 3 things in each embellishment cluster at least. I very often do many more than that. But I don't feel that all the clusters need to be the same size. Like you can have a main one, and then you can have some smaller complementary ones. So I just had one more heart that I really wanted to try and get onto the page. And now it's time for enamel dots. So try and put those things away. And I, of course, have the enamel dots that go with this set. So I'm going to use 3 of the colors from this sheet. And then just doing a large, a medium, and a small. And then rotating those colors. So please give this video a thumbs up. Comment if you made it to the end, if you like this page. I'm curious to see. And come back for more content. I'm going to be making some embellishments and cards and more pages. So would love to see you come back to the page. Thanks a lot.